We're back live here on the beat, WFNC 640 AM, WAAV 980 AM. I'm Curtis Wright. It's 7:35 this Tuesday morning. The Economic Times next with our first guest, Joe DioGuardi, former congressman from New York. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Curtis. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Renee Elmers, our congresswoman here, one of our congresswomen from parts of my listening area, said this week upon the release of the information from the Department of Commerce that the nation's GDP had slowed to 1.5%, and the others had been reduced under 2%. Every day we're receiving more troubling news on the state of the fragile economy. And she went on to say, put it simply, our economy is floundering and things are getting clearly worse. President Obama has been out on the campaign trail this week touting what we tried our plan, and it worked. She questioned, she said, what's worked? Nothing has worked. It's gotten worse. You know, and I wanted to talk to you first about these GDP numbers. Consumer spending is down again. There's the GDP that's been revised previously of quarters, then this one of 1.5. The last quarter's projected at under 2%. And other things that I've looked at, I've tried to see what's going on with Mr. Bernanke and Mr. Geithner. They're sort of MIA. It's like they're hiding in the closet. I don't think they have a plan. They don't know what to do. They keep changing their tune, Mr. Bernanke does. Once it's, I think it's going to pick up, and 3 weeks later it's, it seems to slow down, and then it's going to pick up, and hopefully maybe sometime in 2013. I just don't think they have a clue of what to do because I think it is, Joe, because they will not accept a free market ideology and solution, we're going to go nowhere.
Well, the news is just incredibly uncertain, no matter what you read. I mean, what are the people hearing? They're hearing about a fiscal cliff, a European Union fiscal crisis, low growth, as you just said, drop in consumer confidence that happened again last month, China's growth decreasing from 9% and heading down. Now they think it's now around 7%. Retail sales declining. Infrastructure needs being deferred. And no solutions from Washington.
You know, Joe, there's one other thing, if I can. I've been trying to talk about this with my listeners. The consumer spending is anemic. It's flatlined. But whatever consumer spending is going on, a large amount of that is being done on credit again. Then the government is out there making, they're saying, it looks like the housing market has finally bottomed. Well, they're out there giving out subprime loans again for houses. They're out giving subprime loans again for cars.
There's no question that people are looking for direction and leadership. It's not going to happen this year. This is a major election year, and the future of America is at stake. We have two completely different philosophies going on. One is to rebuild or to build the federal government even higher, to, in effect, unbuild the states. Did you see the state budget crisis task force headed by Volcker and Richard Ravitch, their report? Their conclusion was the fiscal crisis will persist for the states long after the economy rebound. And what are the states confronting? Rising health care costs, underfunded pensions, infrastructure needs that are being ignored, eroding revenues, expected federal budget cuts, and on top of it, incredibly, even Medicaid expansion, which is being dictated in a way by the Obama Health Care Act, although there's an exception now that states can get out of it. So it's not just the federal government. 50 states are in trouble.
And it trickles down, as you know, we well know here in North Carolina, it trickles down to our local municipalities and counties because of what you just said. For every action, there's an equal reaction that happens below that.
Right.
And I don't think the fiscal crisis there or shortfalls or needs or unfunded needs for core basics services and responsibilities, I don't think that's even fully known.
Absolutely. And as I said on your show many times, because the accounting systems so far have not put on the books the unfunded liabilities for these large future payments that have to be paid unless politicians are ready to renege on those promises that they once called lockboxes and trust funds.
But Joe,
we got a whole problem in America that relates to the way the people are being duped in many ways, and it starts with the accounting systems, as I've said.
Here we are in this financial situation, this just historic financial situation, in the midst of all this. And we have counties and cities going out to borrow money for more projects. We have I'm not talking about core projects. I'm talking about foo-foo projects, unnecessary expenditures. We have counties and cities and states giving out raises and bonuses to employees, which, of course, locks you in to a higher long-term liability rate, and on it goes. It's as if, Republican and Democrat, don't they get it? We're broke.
This is why you have governors like Scott Walker and Chris Christie and some others who've been brave enough to confront the unions, because they realize this is what's been going on. The stuff that's not been recorded on the books is being passed on as unfunded liabilities, and now they're realizing that even the credit services, the rating services are getting onto it, and they may lose their AAA or AA, whatever they have. So we've got to commend these governors like Chris Christie and Scott Walker who are taking this issue on, but more has to be done.
The unfunded long-term liabilities, as you said, a comment that you continue to make to us time after time is that these things are not clearly shown on the books. And I truly believe that if they were clearly shown on the books, then we could move public opinion in the right direction. But not seeing it, of course, people, don't know it's there. And then these politicians on both sides of the aisles get to continue to take these actions, which I believe are irresponsible.
Right on. And that's why I named my foundation when I left Congress in 1989, Truth in Government. Hey, we've heard about truth in advertising, truth in engineering.
Truth in the pharmacy industry, right? And in the food industry. But there's no truth in the government, which is the overall, overseer of all these various things.
That's the problem. That's the problem. And we need to give the people the confidence that what they're getting is good information, and they don't feel that way right now.